Let's talk editing. I'm CM Coleman. Welcome to my life on YouTube. Let's talk editing today. Editing can turn a video from an okay video into a great video just by changing some things up. Now you'll notice in most of my videos, I do not like jump cuts. You're saying to yourself, well, what's a jump cut? It's quite simple. It's where you have one thought and then there's a pause and you take the thought out, or you take the pause out, or you take the mistake out. Let's rerun that and see how it goes. It's quite simple. It's where you have one thought and you take the thought out, or you take the pause out, or you take the mistake out. See how simple that is? You can use those jump cuts for anything, but I'm not a big fan of them because I find that when people meet me and I use a lot of jump cuts, that it sort of sounds like I know what I'm talking about all the time. And to be quite honest, no, there's some times where I pause and wait. And you have to use some of those pauses for, dynamics and that sort of thing. But yeah, jump cuts can be necessary for simple things like there was a mistake or there was no other footage to go to. Let's take this really quick thing and I can show you how to handle jump cuts. The other day I was thinking about eating some food. Something really good, like a root beer gingerbread. Well, that sounds good. I don't even know why I'm talking about root beer gingerbread, but I guess root beer gingerbread would be important. Wonder what it would look like on a plate. Root beer gingerbread can taste so good. Alright, that was the whole thing. Now of that, most of it's not important. I can cut out parts of it where we talk about the root beer gingerbread. That's really cool. The other day I was thinking about eating some food, like a root beer gingerbread. Wonder what it would look like on a plate. Root beer gingerbread can taste so good. Or I can then throw in a shot of a piece of root beer gingerbread. The other day I was thinking about eating some food. Something really good, like a root beer gingerbread. Root beer gingerbread can taste so good. That's what I like to do. I like to go into something known as B-roll, or at least I call it B-roll. There's probably something more professional that it's called, but it's other footage that I can jump to. Sometimes this will not be possible, in which case you might have to do a jump cut. Now in my home shows, where I actually do things like cooking and that sort of thing, the reason I have two cameras is so that I can hide those cuts a little bit better. Because I've found I like to cut versus a dissolve, let's dissolve now, from one thing to another, simply because dissolving to me says time is lapsing, and I'm trying to be better at using dissolves for lapsing time versus jump cuts. Now, with all that being said, there are lots of ways to do transitions, there are lots of ways to do cuts, you don't have to do those too, but whatever you do, stick with it. Be consistent. That's the important thing. If you love jump cuts, stick with jump cuts. Don't let people tell you that jump cuts are horrible, because this editing thing is my own personal opinion. I've seen some really cool edits where one thought gets finished while the next edit runs underneath the first edit. It's pretty simple. I decided it looked really cool, but it probably wasn't the editing for me. I just didn't want to go through that much work and finagling to make it look neat, and I had to think about these things ahead of time, because you can't just stop in a sentence and then try to cut in your next sentence. It just sort of doesn't work. So I decided to do it in a different way, just using simple jump cuts or simple cuts, because it's your video. You have to decide how you want your videos to go. Now, if you want them to have jump cuts, have jump cuts. Don't worry about what I'm saying about jump cuts, because guess what? It is your channel. You get to decide how you want your channel to look, how you want your channel to run, what you want your channel to do. If you do not want jump cuts and you want to go through the extra of figuring out ways of cutting from one thing to another, then go for it. It's okay. I want to stress this. I mean, your channel has to look the way you want your channel to look. If you're worrying about other people and how other people are going to react to your channel, and you spend so much time trying to figure out the perfect channel for someone else, you're going to eventually not like your channel because it's no longer your channel, right? Simple jump cuts are fine, simple cuts are fine, whatever you want it to be. You can check out my other videos where you can then see how my editing goes and what I do and that sort of thing, and that's always cool. But the thing to remember is you need it to all work smart for you. You're going to have to learn your editing software, and I'm still learning my editing software, and I love it now because I've upgraded. I originally started out with Adobe Premiere Elements, and I've gone on to Adobe Pro in the cloud, which is really nice. Premiere Pro is just really cool, and it wasn't as big of a learning curve as I thought it would be, but it was really fun, and I enjoy working with it all the time. So give it a try. Tell me what you think of it. Don't forget to subscribe. Every Monday through Friday I do something different. Saturday is always My Life on YouTube, where I talk about how I do things on YouTube, and we're going to talk more in depth about editing, but I wanted to get into simple things. Simple cuts will help your videos look wonderful, and it will keep the flow going, and you will totally and truly enjoy it. People enjoy watching you. Instead of sitting there through 30 to 40 minutes of they don't know what, you can cut things out, and it's okay. Just figure out ahead of time how you want your cuts to go. Okay? If you have any comments or suggestions or ideas, leave them down in the comments sections. Don't forget, you can get a hold of me on most social media at CM Coleman Home. And it's really cool to hear you, and you can check what I'm doing and those sort of things. You can also check out my website, because really soon you're going to be seeing more of these My Life on YouTube's on the website, and a little bit more in depth about that. My website is cmcolemanhome.com. It's probably right here someplace. And you can go there and see what's going on there. Don't forget, running your house doesn't have to be a full-time job. Turn it into a hobby and have some fun.